We might as well kick off, everyone. Welcome to Sunshine Coast Council's Suppliers Briefing. It's the second one for this year. Who was fortunate enough to make it here in February? Can I get a bit of a show of hands? It's a very sparse crowd. Okay, a few of us here. God, wasn't that different. We were able to sit a little bit closer, had no idea what was coming. Shaking hands with each other, handing business cards, none of that. Don't give me your business cards, don't touch me. No. It's a bit of a sparse crowd. Of course, we're joined by the live stream as well for those that weren't able to attend. My name is Dimitri Simeonakis. For those who haven't met me, I'm the Coordinator of Procurement and Contract Performance here at Sunshine Coast Council, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our Suppliers Briefing. On the agenda today, we'll kick off. We've got an opening by Councillor Terry Landsberg, the Health and Safety Representative Ben Cosgrove, followed by our Manager of Project Delivery, Chris Sturgis, to tell us about the Capital Works Program. From Economic Development, we have both Tim McGee and Mandy Day. And then I'll come back and have a bit more of a chat with you about procurement. And we'll finish off with a little bit of social distance booth networking around the room. Okay, let's please join me in welcoming Councillor Terry Landsberg from Division 2 and the Portfolio Councillor for the Economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimitri. First of all, thank you all. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge our traditional owners of the Sunshine Coast Council area, the Cubby Cubby peoples of the coastal plains and the northern hinterland, and the Jinnabara peoples of the southern hinterland. And also I'd pay my respects to their elders past and present and all First Nations peoples. Also I'd like to acknowledge our council staff here from across a range of council services who are here to speak with you today. And also welcome the listeners that are live streaming as well. So good morning everyone and welcome to the Council Supply Briefing. Obviously thank you Dimitri for the intro. I am the Portfolio Economic Development Representative for Council. I also share that with Councillor Jason O'Prey as well. I'm a former business owner and up till April this year I spent most of my life in Commerce Avenue. And so as an owner and the struggles in business and how you manage these issues that we're currently seeing in front of us now, I definitely feel for you and I know where you stand. These events are such an important part of our Sunshine Coast economic future. A great opportunity for local businesses to hear what programs and projects are underway and identify procurement opportunities for you to connect to. It is no secret the last 5 months have been extremely difficult for all our communities and our local businesses. In late January, Australia recorded its first case of COVID-19, and this has progressively headed towards a shutdown of many communities since the end of March. Our Sunshine Coast has not been immune, and obviously our council area has recorded a number of COVID-19 cases, but fortunately we'd like to think we're on top of things at the moment, even though what you've just heard in the news yesterday with a couple of cases coming back from down south is a real concern. But with this unprecedented global crisis, something we have not seen in over a century has had a profound effect right across our community. The Sunshine Coast has experienced a high rate of job losses, predominantly across accommodation, tourism, food services, retail and our professional services. And we're mindful that the potential impact on our construction jobs into the future. That is why our council has moved quickly in the very early days of the pandemic to do what we could to assist local businesses to keep operating, to keep employing local residents and to keep the money circulating in our economy. Initially, on the 18th of March, Council announced that it would be fast-tracking payment of supplier invoices so that where all the paperwork and all the order for goods and services was in hand, these invoices will be paid within 7 days instead of the usual 15 to 30 days. Also, Council has subsequently put in place 3 packages of business support measures, and one on the 23rd of March, one on the 8th of April, and the third on the 24th of June, as part of a multi-stage approach to guiding the region and its businesses through the crippling effect of COVID-19. Our Council voted unanimously to support the reviewed version of Council's procurement policy to more strongly favour locally based suppliers. to provide a boost for our local job opportunities and to help re-energise our economy. Council spent $268.46 million with local suppliers during the last financial year, which represented approximately 70.14% of Council's total procurement spend. From the 1st of July this year, contracts valued at up to $250,000 will go to local companies. Contracts greater than $250,000 will favour local suppliers, even more so, but we are also increasing the local assessment weighting criteria from 15 to 20%. Our council recognises that every dollar is spent stays in our economy and has a multiplying effect. Backing our locals is a win for local businesses, the engine room of our economy, and is a win for our residents who rely on those businesses for employment. In June this year, Council delivered a $782 million budget for the financial year of 2021 that will support our community and local businesses to get back on their feet. That includes a $243 million capital works program that delivers infrastructure and facilities for our residents and provides work for our local tradies and other businesses. This is also connected with Council having brought forward some projects to further inspire the economy at this time. And one of our aims is to have a higher percentage invested with locals this year above the 70% invested last year. So today you will hear from Council officers about some of the projects in our capital programs and the operational contracts that will be coming up in the near future. In addition, Council is also introducing an incentive assistance program to support the private sector with shovel-ready and job-creating projects. This program will encourage investment by offering up to a 25% incentive value on certain development application fees and the deferment of infrastructure charges and further incentives based on capital expenditure and jobs for qualifying projects. The program will be active over the next 18 months to stimulate jobs in the building and construction industry and will complement the state and federal government programs as well. In addition, we are improving Council's responsiveness by introducing business champions across the organisation to fast-track eligible proposals. And there is more that continues to be done. One thing that we do know for certain in our region, it is much stronger than in 2011, 2012, which you must agree with the GFC impact on our businesses was massive, and a lot of businesses was battling to stay afloat. We have worked hard since that time to grow investment in new infrastructure and have focused our efforts on expanding our high-value industries, which are more resilient to global shocks. All these efforts were driven by the architecture of our Regional Economic Development Strategy, which is REDS, and which was put in place in 2013 as a blueprint for developing a new and stronger globally connected economy in our region. Building on the foundations of this strategy, we have also recently released an economic resurgence plan to guide us through the impacts of COVID-19 and to build back our economy for our local businesses better than before. And local businesses will be at the front and centre and guiding how this will be implemented. It would be difficult to overstate the importance of your businesses and the construction industry to our region. You are the people investing in our community with your money, taking risks, creating opportunities and giving people employment opportunities. Your employees then spend locally buying houses, cars, clothes and groceries and creates more jobs, and so the cycle continues. So it gives me great pleasure today to stand here and recognise your contributions and achievements, and I'm proud to say Council is working with you and will continue to get the best results for our region. And it's just so important for everyone, Council, the industry and the business community as a whole to create the right conditions for confidence in these investments. So thank you to everyone in the business community whose continued dedication, drive and innovation helps to make our healthy, smart, creative region the envy of those around the country. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Councillor. Next up, we're going to hear from Ben Cosgrove, our Health and Safety Representative. Please make him welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome. Sorry. My name is Ben Cosgrove, and today I'm talking about safety culture and COVID-19 and our responses as SEC in relation to control measures that we have in place for COVID-19. So, changing safety landscape at the Sunshine Coast Council. The Sunshine Coast Council is continually improving safety performance. Program of works is about to commence for a safety culture program to help better the organisation in the safety culture that we have here. First of all, we have the sliding scale here shows a pathological response, who cares as long as we don't get caught. A reactive response such as safety is important, we do a lot every time something goes wrong. A calculative, we are about safety and have systems to manage all hazards. Proactive, safety leadership and values drive continuous improvement. Or generative, safety is the way we do business around here. So at Sunshine Coast Council, previously we were in a reactive phase, where now we are more in the proactive and generative phase, and we are proactively auditing and performing in the field to show, sorry, I just lost that next slide. Sorry. So Sunshine Coast Council's response to COVID-19, how have we responded to COVID-19? COVID-19, unlike other hazards in the field, affects everybody across the whole organisation. So we are treating COVID-19 like any other hazard that you may find in the workplace. Sunshine Coast Council take a risk-based approach to managing such matters based upon the advice from the following departments and authorities. Council's response to COVID-19, how have we responded? Essential services have remained operational throughout the pandemic. Control measures have been implemented, including a control group, a working group for the critical decisions in relation to COVID-19, limiting numbers for employees and visitors in buildings based upon distance and floor area, limiting vehicles use to reduce possible exposure, installation of clear signage throughout our facilities, increased routine environmental cleaning and frequency, progress development for managing vulnerable employees and volunteers, process development to respond to illness in the workplace, and developed COVID safe plans for each branch. How are SEC and working with some suppliers and contractors during COVID? So our experience with suppliers and contractors addressing COVID has been fantastic, with people taking personal responsibility for their actions. If you have attended an SEC site or building, there are protocols in place that you may be asked to adhere to, including ensuring that you adhere to personal hygiene requirements, bringing your own food, water and coffee, following the direction of your SEC host, and signing in using appropriate register. We request that deliveries are managed in a specific way to minimise contact with staff, and changing the landscape of the Sunshine Coast Council. Whilst COVID experience has been tough on all of us, we have learned that WHS and SEC have taken a large progressive step forward towards proactive model from a reactive, calculative one, which WHS accountability amongst individuals across SEC has increased significantly due to realisation that the risk is personal. Safety is a team effort that can only be effective when everyone within the organisation step up and take responsibility, which is what we have witnessed. I'll be sitting at the safety table for any questions in relation to safety and how we mitigate the risk through procedures and policies in line with the Act. So if anyone wishes to have a chat to me at the safety table afterwards, I'm happily answer any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Please welcome Chris Sturgis, our Manager of Project Delivery.
Morning everyone, and fantastic to be back to the suppliers briefing, my first one of 2020. So yeah, as Dimitri said, I'm Chris Sturgis, Manager Project Delivery at Council. I guess, wanted to kick off today, and we've got the banner across the top there which shows some of the projects delivered through the last financial year. We've got Sippy Downs Drive and Russell Family Park and Mooloolaba Holiday Park. And I guess that encapsulates the variety of work that is being pumped out by Sunshine Coast Council in the community, and particularly through my team. You know, roads, playgrounds, holiday parks, a whole range of stuff that we get involved with and engage with the local businesses and contractors to deliver. The first dot point there really talks about building closer relationships between all parties, and I think what's been amazing, particularly this year, and you know, we've spoken about what a difficult year it's been already, but it's been absolutely fantastic to be able to achieve again a full 100% delivery on what Council approved in its 1920 capital program. And now we couldn't have done that without our local suppliers, our consultants and our contractors. So firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who's you know, continued to work hard in that construction area over the past 6 months in what must be the most difficult circumstances I've certainly seen through my career. So couldn't have done that without you, and I think that's a testament to the relationships that we've already built and will continue to try and strengthen as we move forward in our, hopefully, in our recovery phase. Today is about informing and updating everyone on new contract opportunities, and Councillor Terry spoke about the fact that we've got another very large capital program around that $243 million mark. So it's another solid offering, and for my team especially, and I'll get into some stats later, it's the same size really as what we've just come through with the 1920 capital budget, propped up by thankfully some stimulus funding from the state and federal governments, which is fantastic. So we'll explain, and I think you'll hear information throughout the day from Dimitri in procurement, how to secure projects with Sunshine Coast Councils moving forward, and the opportunity for upcoming projects. So just a few stats on how the budget sort of, I guess, splits up. Probably direct you to the bottom right for you at the moment. Pretty much a breakdown there in tabular format of the different programs that Council funds, and you can see the bottom line there of the 242,400 capital program. But the meatiest program there is the transport program at some 70 million, and there's some massive projects that roll out from year to year. Big upgrades like Sippy Downs Drive that you saw before, and then moving into the likes of Brisbane Road and Wayland Street, which we've got under construction at the moment. Significant programs in our building facilities, some corporate major projects going on, and we're still in construction for the Brisbane Road multi-deck car park that's due to finish around Christmas. Our land, our parks, our waste, and there's some meaty waste projects coming out this year, stormwater, IT, through our coastal environment areas, holiday parks, quarries and aerodromes. So a real split of projects there. If I jump back to the top left, that basically is a bit of a breakdown in our business of who manages those projects for Council. So my crew is the blue area. We do have around about that $120 million mark again this financial year to roll out. But there are a number of areas and contributors across the business that also deliver significant parts of our capital budget. I know our CAM, our Civil Asset Management guys are here today who run out our annual reseal rehab program, so I'm sure if you need to have a chat to them, they'll be more than happy to take questions. But yeah, a whole range of people across the business. We've got 4 teams in our project delivery area, our capital planning area, and we've got Christian here today, our recreational projects, and Peter's here to answer some questions, and an urban team and a civil team, and that kind of breaks down our projects into sort of some specific disciplines. So bouncing around again, back up to the top right, I guess that's sort of a bit of a highlight on my team or my branch's delivery parameters over the past few years, and you can sort of see a steady climb there from 2014 up to some fairly solid levels, and that $120 million figure I spoke about for 1920, and happy to say that while 2021 looks slightly less on the bar chart, it has been topped up by some state and federal stimulus funding, and it will be around that $120 million mark again, which is fantastic to be able to roll out. I continue to sort of show these figures because I think what it presents here is that if you look from the left, there's a lot of orders that go out of that 120 in projects less than 250,000. So there's quite a high volume. We've seen over the last 2 years with the blue and the orange bars there that, you know, 12 to 1,400 purchase orders are written annually. So that's projects under that 250, right up to that sort of $1 million level. Yes, there's less there, but if we move over to the right-hand side, there's around that $30 million worth of work under the 250 that makes up that 12 to 1,400 projects through to, obviously some bigger spends in our greater than $1 million project level. So, the story there is there's work for sort of every different size company, firm. There's a lot of range in it. So getting into a little bit of detail, as I said before, our civil team that Ben McGover heads up, range of projects again rolling out for this year, and this is a snapshot, and no doubt we'll be back for another suppliers briefing to give you another update as we get to sort of 6 months into the financial year, talk about what else we'll have coming down the pipeline. But for now, we've got the likes of a pretty meaty design on Oval Avenue, so get out to a design tender out on that one through Q2, so that'll be great to get out to the market. We've got a bridge at River Road that'll go to construction Q3, so one of our smaller bridges. A fairly significant footbridge at Stringy Bark Road that'll go to a design package and then hopefully move through to construction, so around a $3 million bridge, which is over the motorway in that Sippy Downs area. A box culvert replacement at Cinnamon Avenue, so a fairly solid job there with design tenders being evaluated now and to go out to construction for around that $1 million mark. As I mentioned before, the Mooloolaba Transport Corridor, which is pretty much the Brisbane Road, Wayland Street sections, in finalisation of the design at the moment for the next stage on Brisbane Road and moving to construction tenders through Q2. So, $25 million project there is a pretty solid upgrade. Some new ones which have able to be facilitated through some of the government stimulus funding. So Camp Flat Road, we've got a good section there, 1.4 million to come through to construction. And these are projects that have been made design ready over the last 1 and 2 years, so that they are ready to go should funding be able to be found for these projects. So the last one there on the list is another one, Raddat's Bridge out at Eastern Mary River Road, so kind of out the back of the region, but another smaller bridge coming up for an upgrade. So a good list there and a fair bit of variability in what will go out for construction. So from our recreation, sports and parks projects team that Peter heads up, again a bit of a range. We've got a solid offering up at Palmwoods where there's a clubhouse that needs construction up there, so a bit of design work to do first and then construction through in February, so a $1.2 million building upgrade there, so a bit of a different offering there. The Caloundra Road Sports Precinct, so that's a fairly big regional facility that will come through, and they're out there. There's a whole range of works to be done. It'll be staged over a number of years. The first parts of it coming through at the $1.3 million level, so tender out there. Construction from October through to February, so that's a good solid project. Yandina Cricket Club, so another facility upgrade there for $600,000 up at Yandina. A really good project up at the Caloundra Sugar Bag Road mountain bike trails, and this is another project brought through thankfully with the help of state government stimulus funding. So we're going to do a tender and a construction project up there to take the mountain biking to the next level up at Caloundra, or down at Caloundra I should say. And the Dickey Beach Precinct, so is again a fairly solid upgrade at Dickey Beach over a number of stages. Is the first one coming through for 1.1 million, so be good to get that one going as well. Urban projects, so Matt Dagan heading that area up. So this is where we get into some of the waste projects that are coming through, and there's a really good project there in the materials recovery facility at the Nambour landfill precinct. So we'll be out to design and construction tenders, if not now, very soon, for a $15 million project there. Some of these projects, when they're the size they are funded over multiple financial years, so I expect that one to be in construction across the span of 2021. We've got a fantastic project up at the Nambour Aquatic Centre, which is a range of things including car parks, amenities, splash and play, a new water slide, so a fairly significant upgrade up at the Nambour Aquatic Centre, which is great for Nambour. some aquatic centre filter upgrades at the Cotton Tree Aquatic Centre, so design and construction RFQs there. A range of building demolitions, so we do need to sort of clear the path sometimes for some of these bigger road projects and whatnot to come through, so I think there's a number of demolitions that'll go to contract there, and then probably just a whole range of design investigation package that'll come through for a whole range of things. So we'll release them to the market in packages that hopefully get good value for you and for us as we move through that. So a bit of an update on the services and the expertise that we hold at council and those that we seek from industry. This really hasn't changed too much, so I'll just run through the list. From a survey point of view, we do have survey capacity, but we often seek it from the market. We don't have geotechnical capacity. That's one thing that we pretty much always seek from the market. We have design and civil design and landscape design, but they generally sort of are only doing about 50% of the work, and we're using our local consultants wherever we can to prop that up. Environment, structural, lighting and traffic signal design are all skills that we don't have and that we seek regularly on projects from our local consultants. We have some civil construction capacity, but a vast majority still goes to the private market as well, and all of our landscape construction is sourced through the market, so we don't have any capacity to deliver that from council. So that's been pretty stable now for a couple of years, so that just lets you know where we're looking for those sort of expertises from the market. In terms of supply arrangements that my team are involved with, we run 3 supply agreements: the landscape, open space structures, boardwalks, jetties, and the civil construction of parks, open space, sports fields, access roads and car parks. Fair mouthful. They expire. They've run to the end of their contracts in April next year, so we will be back at the market early 2021 with those panel arrangements, seeking submissions from you all again. So they'll come up before we can blink. The playground and exercise equipment runs a bit longer, so it runs through to October. I think that should be 2021. No, it's 2020. Oh, so we're out now. So that one's out now to the market. So yeah, looking for submissions on that one now. So probably just to run over, and you'll hear a lot more information hopefully this morning about winning work, but the relationships, as I started with today, are everything. If we kind of know how you work and you know how we work, we do have a stack of legislation and a local government act to work under. So there are things about working with council that are different to private. So it is about getting to know us and us getting comfortable with you. But when you are tendering for work for us, it is about good methodology, having a good track record with council so that we've got confidence in return business. I would say as well, and backing on what Ben said with safety, really important as we look to improve that safety journey is to prove to us as you work through methodologies and your submissions to council that if you can include how you've considered safety, particularly in high-risk activities, that tells us a lot about your expertise and your understanding of the project that you're tendering for. So certainly make that part of your submissions wherever you can. Some projects we specifically ask for you to give us examples on how you're doing that. But we work in the community, so pretty much all of council's work is brownfield site stuff. It's in the public. We've got people walking, driving through the sites, a whole range of things. So it's not often put the fence up and get everyone out. It's live sort of stuff in the public realm. So it does mean we've got to get our safety right. We've got to look after our staff, your staff, our contractors, the community, the whole range of people. So we do need to get it right. You've heard that we've upped our procurement parameters in terms of really trying to get more into the local economy, so my team's committed to that as well. Be great to get more engagement from local business and just keep that relationship building for return work. And for us it's about a positive approach and getting a good result at the end of the day so that we all feel good we've achieved something good out of what we've delivered in our local community. So that positive approach to the project and a long-term relationship for return business, that's important to us. I'm sure it's important to you. So, you know, they're the ideals that we're looking for as we continue to hopefully have another strong year. You know, obviously it'll be another challenging year, but again, a solid capital program offering for council. So great to get cracking. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Now it's time to hear from members of our Economic Development branch. Please welcome Tim McGee and Mandy Day.
Well, good morning, everyone, and good morning to those who are joining us online as well. Thanks for joining us. My name is Tim McGee, and my colleague Mandy Day and I work in economic development at Council, specifically within the local business team. Now, our role is solely focused on supporting businesses just like yours to grow, employ and prosper. As you heard from the councillor, we are in a really challenging time globally and here on the Sunshine Coast as well. And as a result, Council has developed our economic resurgence plan, and this is really focused on the time we are in now. So we have our regional economic development strategy, which is a 20-year strategy, but we saw that with the pandemic and with the impacts on the economy and the community, we really needed something to really have some focus and attention on that. So we developed this, Council has developed this economic resurgence plan, and for the next 12 to 18 months we have a few focus areas which I'll just unpack a little bit for you as we go along there. So they are to win back consumer trust and confidence. So the more trust and confidence with consumers, whether it's shopping and retail or going to restaurants or spending locally or building houses and doing renovations and having that confidence to do that, and that flows onto the business community, and then the business confidence obviously has a strong flow-on effect as well. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to enable that confidence. And in the last financial year, you would have heard that Council brought forward a lot of the capital works projects and programs and did what we can for restaurants and retailers to be able to help them trade with minimal disruption. So we're looking to make sure that we do everything we can to support that business confidence. It's also about connecting the labour market to opportunities. So the impacts on jobs have been significant, there's no doubt about it, and we're doing everything we can, working with state and federal government, and particularly through construction and other industries as well, looking at how we can stimulate jobs, how we can deliver programs that support jobs and connect people to those job opportunities. How people, if they may be in a particular industry at the moment, but they maybe need to reskill, so looking at reskilling opportunities, and that could be reskilling into construction or reskilling to another level of construction. And working with Construction Skills Queensland, TAFE Queensland and other providers to really understand what Council can do in that space. It's also about supporting business assistance and renewal, and so you'll hear about some of the programs from Mandy that we're doing currently through economic development and about those programs, and then enhancing business and digital connectedness. So that's connecting you with the right opportunities, connecting you with the people and the organisations that can help you. And also the digital connectedness, we're looking at, have a partnership with Amazon Web Services. So there's the AWS Educate program, which is developing the digital skills and capability of our community. And then supporting supply chains. So the more money that stays locally and spends locally, as the councillor said, has a flow-on effect for our community. So where we can develop the capability of local supply chains for you and for your business, and where you can utilise those and spend locally, then that's just going to have a great effect on our community. And so they're the key focus areas of the resurgence plan, and as I mentioned, prior to this we had our regional economic development strategy as well, and as part of that we have, within economic development, we have three kind of main teams. We have trade and investment, which is all about attracting investment to the region where it's needed and also supporting reinvestment in the region. We have our tourism and major events team, which is about attracting major sporting and cultural and other events to the region and attracting visitation through those events. And then we have industry advancement, which includes supporting the growth of those high-value industries and also our local business support team as well. So this diagram gives you a bit of an overview of some of the programs and activities that we do with our local business support team. There are 32,500 businesses on the Sunshine Coast, and a majority, as you know, are small businesses, small to medium. And so Mandy and the team go out and they can come and meet with you one-on-one in your business, and or you can come to us and really understand what your challenges are, what your issues are, how we can direct you in the right direction and support you as a business to grow. So we can have those one-on-one meetings. We also develop a range of programs and activities and events that you might like to tap into, and Mandy will go through some of those for you in a little while. We do things like best practice tours for manufacturing and for just understanding how other businesses are operating and showcase those capabilities so that you might be able to adapt them for your business as well. And we can connect you to different industry organisations, different people, different opportunities, chambers of commerce, and so on and so forth. So there's a whole range of things that we can do, and it's really about understanding what your needs are first and then trying to deliver something for you as well. So I'll hand it over to Mandy now, and she'll go through some of those individual programs and support mechanisms that we have in place already, and welcome your feedback and look forward to chatting with you over the table a little bit later. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Look, we're also great to have on speed dial if you ever experience disruption relating to construction, extreme weather events, or global pandemics. So if you're interested in how you can better prepare and develop more business resilience, Council has plenty of disaster management and COVID-19 resources that we can share with you. For starters, can I recommend that you check out our COVID-19 Support for Business website. So it's found on Council's website in the business section. We also have our professional advice support program, and this program was developed and delivered to support critically injured businesses, and it's extended as part of Council's COVID-19 tranche 2 support. Now, it offers businesses in need with 1 hour of free legal, accountancy or HR advice. So if you're a business you know is being critically impacted and in need of the support of one of these professional advice providers, then please direct them to this program. Another amazing program, which has been an incredible resource during COVID, is our Be Well and Prosper program. Being in business can be hugely stressful, right? Please raise your hand if you've ever experienced business stress at any stage in your business journey. I think we can probably safely say that no one is really immune. And with a vision of having the healthiest minded business community in Australia in 2019 in partnership with Mindstar, we developed the Be Well and Prosper program. So our Be Well and Prosper program portal now offers all Sunshine Coast business owners with less than 20 employees free access to wellbeing support for their whole team. So can I encourage you all to log in, register, download the free Workplace Wellbeing Toolkit as a starting point, and then you can access free online programs, tools, fact sheets. There are interviews, wellbeing workshops, free local activities, podcasts, a wellbeing calendar. It goes on. But there are plenty of resources within there to support you maintaining mental wellbeing every day. We also have the Sunshine Coast Funding Finder. So in every meeting, post-COVID, I have people seeking grants and funding support. So Council has partnered with Grant Guru to deliver a site that brings together local, state, federal and private funding, and it's all available in this one site. And I'm often asked if Council provides funding direct to business, which we don't. But if you think a little creatively, perhaps you can work with a community group to deliver a project, and then you can have the community group apply for the funding to deliver it. So if this is of interest, Council has our second round of major community grant funding for the year open now, and it closes on the 24th of August. And usually when you request funding for projects that are in excess of $7,500, you need to allocate co-funding, but due to the current environment, Council has temporarily suspended that for this round, so now's a really great time to apply. Now, if you're here today seeking new procurement opportunities, which I can only assume that all of you are, our first 5 hot tips are: subscribe to Council's tender alerts, register with Q tenders, check out Council's established supplier arrangements. Now, we don't have supply arrangements for everything, but they do exist and they're for a limited time period. So research what arrangements exist, note and calendarise when they expire, and prepare to quote and tender when that comes available. And if you haven't considered it, research Council's and the Queensland Government's contracts awarded lists. These are a great resource for developing targeted business development lists. So they outline who's won recent contracts. Knowledge is power, right? So find out who's winning work and work to establish relationships with these businesses to create opportunities to join their supply chains. And for those of you who are selling products and services, if a company is winning contracts, that's a pretty good indicator that cash flow is pending. So that could be cash that could be used to purchase your product or service. I would also like to encourage you to develop a profile on the regional ICN Gateway. This platform is designed to collect larger contractors to local businesses. So you can view tender packages that they list, and larger businesses can also use it to source businesses to fill their local supply chain requirements. So if you're looking for ways to work smarter, not harder, develop your profile and make your business visible. We've recently listed FKG's new Palmview State Primary School and Special School projects, Caloundra South State High School project, the Big Pineapple Renewal project, and McNab have included the information for you to connect with the Sunshine Coast City Hall project on the ICN Gateway if you're interested in finding more about these projects. Now, given the COVID disruptions to business, we're mindful that many of you are finding yourselves in a more competitive marketplace. So can I urge you to be mindful of what your tender documents are saying about you to your potential customers? And if you need to invest in this space because you're not having the success rates that you would like, please reach out so we can connect you to resources. While Council's local procurement policy adjustments will certainly help to support you, we're mindful that this weighting doesn't exist outside Council contracts. So if you need support increasing your tendering capability across your team, we have a Doing Business with Council workshop. We have one coming up on the 14th of August, and this is designed to help you better understand Council's procurement requirements so you can tender more successfully. You can also access this workshop via an online video if you prefer to undertake it in your own time. So just search for Sunshine Coast Council Doing Business with Council online video in your browser, and it's housed on our YouTube channel. We also just hosted our one-day business management systems workshop yesterday. But if this is of interest to you, you can formally express your interest via the link included here, and I'll ensure that you receive an invite when the next event is scheduled. Council's business management systems workshops are designed for all of you out there that would like to successfully tender on larger projects, but may have been procrastinating on that. So it's all about formalising your quality, safety and environmental management systems documentation. So to help you with this, I do all the heavy lifting. I'll book the room, I'll sort out an expert mentor to have on hand, and we provide you with all the templates that you'll need, plus guide you through the specific documents you require and show you how to complete them. And if I haven't sold you, I'll even throw in tea, coffee, biscuits and a catered lunch. The state government also has some great workshop opportunities that support developing your capability statements, improving your tendering capabilities, and they now have a ISO 45001 certification preparation workshop, so you can connect to their offerings via their @Growing Queensland Facebook page. Now, this next slide is for those of you looking to increase your business capabilities. So if you've been impacted by COVID and you need to change up your business model, or you just want to focus on business planning for 2021 and you could do with some mentoring support, there are some really amazing low-cost opportunities available to you. The Sunshine Coast Chamber Alliance offer a fantastic low-cost 2-year business mentoring program. So if you're looking for a long-term mentor, this program's great. And if you're looking to develop your business acumen or business plans quickly, the TAFE Build a Better Business Workshop and Mentoring Program is fantastic. Our council TAFE collaboration has moved to an online delivery model post-COVID, but in 12 weeks, with just a quick 1 hour a week Zoom workshop session, business owners and managers can use the program to create really focused business action plans, and that includes marketing plans, finance plans, and implementation plans. And that's completely supported by a TAFE business mentor. Plus, in addition to that, you'll also walk away with a Certificate 4 in Small Business Management. Understanding again that these are challenging times, council is also providing an additional subsidy, so we can now offer this $2,380 program for just $99. If, like many others, COVID has really highlighted that you have a need to increase your digital skills, we have a free Level Up Digital Skills program. It's 12 online webinars and they have just been overhauled, so new content will be live very shortly. And there's some great blogs on the site that were created to help support business adaptation in a COVID world, so you can view them via levelup.sunshinecoast.qld.gov.au. Plus, we have access to and knowledge of lots of other external programs like Boost with Facebook and Facebook Blueprint for those that are interested in increasing their skills in Facebook and Instagram. Google has their Digital Garage program, and Deloitte has a federally funded digital support for business program as well. A couple of other great resources, if you're yet to discover them, are the Business Queensland site. This is a really amazing resource outlining what you need to know to start a business, to run a business, and it has extensive COVID-19 business resources and grant and funding information on there, so be sure to connect to that. CSQ, or Construction Skills Queensland, is also a great resource for our construction businesses. It connects tradies and workers with targeted funding, and I'm talking up to 75% for workforce planning, skills and training. So please reach out to them to see what you and your workforce might be eligible for. And if you're an RTO, you can apply to be an approved CSQ registered training supplier. They also offer research data and analysis on the drivers that will impact current and future workforce requirements for our local construction industry. So great if anybody's looking for current data to help them better plan for their workforce requirements. Being in business can be very isolating, I just want you to know that we have an amazingly talented and supportive business community in #TeamSunshineCoast that you could be gaining support from. So there are chambers of commerce and industry groups to meet all needs. We also have a new Sunshine Coast Young Chamber of Commerce that I wanted to give a bit of a shout out to, who will be launching shortly. Plus there's a host of business breakfast opportunities that are running across the coast. And if you're interested in less traditional networking opportunities, then connect to Facebook groups or maybe meet up Sunshine Coast. They might have other groups that are out there that also have your target market in there that you could be engaging with. Plus, consider connecting with other businesses within your industry, and dare I say, even your competitors. There are opportunities out there often to collaborate and activate together. And lastly, I don't know how many times you've probably heard you don't know what you don't know. So I just urge you to stay connected. And there are two really simple ways that you can do that. So you can connect yourself to our business news update. You just simply follow the link to subscribe. It's a monthly e-newsletter that's provided in the first week of every month. So you can pop things in your calendar. And contact our business development team. So come chat to Tim, myself, and Tanya is also part of our team, but Tim and I will be here after the presentation at the economic development table, or just send us an email. So on behalf of our team, I really thank you for your time today. I thank you for your continued support for local business, and we certainly look forward to hearing from you and further supporting you as we look to resurgence in 2021. Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you, Tim and Mandy. Okay, next up, you get to hear from me. There might be a little bit of repetition if you've attended one of these briefings before, or if you've attended one of my Doing Business with Council workshops. This is more of a condensed version of some of the content from that workshop, and there's opportunities to attend further workshops that I'll discuss a bit later on. Okay. So, as already been mentioned before by both the councillor and Chris Sturgis, the balanced budget for this financial year is $782 million. $243 million of that is our capital works program. For the previous financial year, we spent just over 70% of our procurement spend with local suppliers. As you're aware, we've been putting in, we've always had measures in place to meet our legislatively mandated push to stimulate the local economy, and that's been significantly ramped up recently. So, contracting with council. Let's see how it happens. Basically, we go about it in, if I were to condense it, in one of two ways. We can request quotes. We call that an RFQ, a request for quote process, or a public tender. And which procurement route is chosen depends on both the value of the goods or services that we're seeking to engage, and of course the complexity of what it is that we're seeking to obtain, and our understanding of the market too plays a factor. So when we request quotes, if the estimated value is between $25,000 and $250,000, we must seek a minimum of 3 quotes from suppliers capable of providing what we're looking for. So it's not just a matter of putting out, okay, you and you, give me a quote for this. I need to have be sure of myself that they are capable of providing what it is that we seek. So an understanding of the market is very important. For something valued $250,000 or above, or up to $1 million, I must seek quotes from at least 5 capable suppliers. I could, of course, also conduct a public tender. Now, from a public tender, I don't choose who responds. It's open for the world at large to come at me with their offers. And that's a great way of going about it when we haven't got a grasp of the market. And let's face it, market sounding isn't something that you do once and then rest on with that knowledge. It's something that evolves constantly. Markets change all the time. New players come in, some players leave the market. So it's important that we keep on testing the market via the public tender process frequently. We talked a bit before about supplier arrangements. Supply arrangements, there's a bit of a myth that I've picked up in my dealings with suppliers over the years. A myth that if you're not on a panel of councils, then too bad, you're not getting any work with council. That's not the case. As I said, even though we have arrangements on foot, it's important that we test the market frequently with public tenders. So when it comes to supply arrangements, we don't have them for everything that we do or all the goods and services that we seek. We have several of them, 17 at present. 9 relate to goods and services, 6 to construction works or similar, and 2 are for hire of plant, that's a wet and dry hire. Now they're peculiar beasts, these supply arrangements. They can work very efficiently, very well for us and for the market and for our suppliers, but they come with their challenges as well. If I receive a raft of applications, of submissions for a particular category or a particular arrangement that I'm trying to form, and everyone is, looking really good on their criteria, I can't let everyone on. If I let everyone onto that arrangement, then each of you are only going to get a very small piece of pie out of the work that's available. If I put too few suppliers on, then I could get caught out, or council can get caught out by only obtaining, not enough responses to the quotes that we seek from the arrangement whenever we approach it. So they come with their challenges. They can be very efficient. So what it means for me, once we pre-qualify suppliers onto an arrangement, you're pre-qualified against your capability and experience and some of the other criteria that we'll go into shortly. So when it comes time to seeking quotes from an arrangement, I don't have to go over those things with you again. You don't need to justify the accreditations and the qualifications that you did prove to us when you made it onto the arrangement. I just have to ask you your price and how you're going to do it, methodology, pretty much. For some projects, we do go in depth a little bit further and explore your capability and experience again, especially health and safety as well. But it is a much easier way of going about business once we form a supplier arrangement. That said, even though we have a supply arrangement for things, sometimes we still go out to public tender and test the market at large. Okay. So the criteria, generally, we have price, capability and experience, methodology, contribution to local economy, and there's a shared criteria of social benefit engagement and or First Nations. So they share, there's two different guidelines that we'll talk about shortly as well, but they share that one criteria. The percentage appointed to each criteria, the weighting, depends on the project itself on a case-by-case basis. Previously, this organisation held a position where we wouldn't disclose what those weightings are. Now, in the interest of some greater transparency, we have been disclosing. We're starting to share what those weightings are for our public tenders. So the one weighting that was always publicly known for the contribution to local economy was 15%. That's been ramped up to 20% recently under the revised local preference in procurement guideline. Can I see a show of hands who is familiar with the local preference in procurement guideline, who's actually bothered to download it and have a read? Okay, not enough hands there. We need more of you to explore it, and the same goes for the other guidelines. So here they are. There's the local preference in procurement one, our First Nations procurement guideline, social benefit procurement guideline, and the innovation and market-led engagement guidelines. They're publicly available documents, and I implore you to download them and have a read. Okay, a brief word on probity. This is something that's very important to us. We see our role here at Council in the procurement contracts teams is to ensure that the integrity of the processes is infallible. It shouldn't be questionable. We ensure that the processes that we take mean that the decision making is open to scrutiny and defensible at all times. So it's important that you play a part in that as well. If there's any conflicts of interest, and even if you know in your heart that there isn't an actual conflict of interest, if you know someone at council or you know someone that might be involved in the project, even if they're not directly involved in the project, it could be perceived that there's a conflict of interest there. And let's face it, perception is just as bad as actually being guilty of the thing, especially when it comes to local government. So I implore you, if you think that there might be a perceived conflict of interest when it comes to you putting a bid in for one of our projects, please let us know. They should be declared, not discovered. So once you declare it, we'll then determine whether it's a perceived one, whether we need to put in any mitigation factors, or if we can simply crack on and get on with the job. Okay, some upcoming opportunities. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. Some of these projects have already been mentioned. If you subscribe to our Sunshine Coast Tender Alert Service, you'll of course get notification when these hit the market. And I probably should have mentioned earlier to you, happy snaps are welcome, but these slides will be available on Council's internet page as well. I will not list them all for you. Let you have a read, and those live streaming as well have a nice big screen filled with those projects. Okay, some other opportunities. Now, Mandy stole my thunder on some of these, but that's okay. I'll tell you about them again. So, Tender Alert Service and Q Tenders. They're the two main ones that I implore you to subscribe to if you haven't already. Q Tenders is essentially the tender box that's held and run by the Queensland Department of Housing and Public Works. So it's a third-party tender box. We have nothing to do with it. If I couldn't even open and have a look at your bids, if I was interested in doing so. Not that I am. So we love that arm's length approach to that tender box. So you'll get notifications about our jobs via the Tender Alert Service, and you'll also be notified a second time about our projects via Q Tenders as well. Now, you'd be surprised how many people receive a notification twice, yet still miss out on opportunities. So not a bad thing to get them twice. You'll also get further notifications about other jobs across the state as well via Q Tenders too. The ICN Gateway, as already mentioned by Mandy Day. So that's a great opportunity for projects that there may be projects of ours, they may not be. So it's a place for larger firms to put up their jobs and employ smaller firms, subcontractors, subconsultants, to show interest in being a part of those projects, and also for those smaller guys to register their interest on the platform for the big guys to see as well. There's our Black Business Finder, so that's important to us when it comes to assessing applications or criteria that relate to the First Nations procurement guideline I mentioned earlier. And of course, Local Buy. So Local Buy is a firm that's wholly owned by the Local Government Association of Queensland. They set up arrangements for the use of all local governments and government agencies across the state. We use Local Buy from time to time, and so if you're not already aware of them, have a look at what they do. You might be able to offer some of the services that they have arrangements for, and have a bid and get onto those panels for when we seek to engage. Further opportunities, so there's the Doing Business with Council workshops of mine have ground to a halt for a little while there. I held one as the pandemic was just ramping up, and it was very awkward to not be able to shake hands and engage with people the way we normally do. So we're scheduled another one for the 14th of August, and there'll be more to come as well. Hopefully what's just occurred in the past day or two down south won't mean that we'll have to cancel that one. But it's scheduled for the time being. If you Google Doing Business with Council workshop for Sunshine Coast, you'll be able to find a link to that and register your interest. There's also a recorded version of the Doing Business with Council workshop. Now that was done almost or about a year or so ago, so it's a little outdated. It's a condensed version of what we do in the face-to-face workshop. It's a bit more comprehensive face-to-face. In the face-to-face one, I go over some of our an invitation to tender and a tender response form with the group, so it's a bit more involved. But if you can't attend that one, the online version is worth having a look at. Okay, there'll be a survey circulated at the end of this event. Please give us your feedback and let us know how you found it. And that wraps us up. We'll lead into some networking around the room. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found that to be of value, and look forward to doing business with you all. Thanks a lot.